Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here today. I'm pleased to welcome you to this presentation. Today, we'll be discussing the management of out-of-calibration, or OOC, issues. The focus will be on understanding what OOC means, how to manage it effectively, and ensuring our measurement systems remain reliable. Over the next few slides, we'll explore key concepts, best practices, and practical strategies to handle calibration challenges. Let's get started. Let's talk about our main objectives for this session. First, we want to clearly define what out-of-calibration, or OOC, actually means. Understanding this concept is crucial because it forms the foundation for everything else we'll cover. Next, we'll look at the regulatory expectations surrounding calibration and OOC. Knowing what regulators require helps us stay compliant and avoid potential issues. Then, we'll delve into the scientific rationale behind calibration standards and explore control measures that can help prevent or manage OOC situations. Finally, we'll look at some real-world examples and discuss corrective actions that can be taken when OOC is identified. By the end of this, you'll have a comprehensive understanding of how to handle calibration issues effectively within your operations. So let's talk about what calibration really is. Essentially, calibration is the process of comparing an instrument to a reference standard. This comparison helps us detect any deviations or differences between what the instrument is measuring and what the standard should be. By doing this, we can see if the instrument is accurate or if it needs adjustment. The main purpose of calibration is to ensure measurement accuracy. When we calibrate properly, we can trust that the measurements we get are correct, which is crucial in many fields. It also helps us minimize risks in decision-making, because decisions based on inaccurate data can lead to errors or even costly mistakes. Finally, calibration helps us maintain confidence in our results. When we regularly check and calibrate our instruments, everyone can be assured that the data is reliable, and that's essential for maintaining high standards in any operation or research. So, in the context of our overall theme, calibration is a key step in ensuring quality, safety, and confidence in our measurements. Let's take a moment to understand why out-of-calibration, or OOC, really matters from a scientific perspective. When instruments go out of calibration, measurement uncertainty tends to increase. This means our data becomes less reliable, which can have significant implications for decision-making and quality control. If the data isn't trustworthy, it can lead to process losses or even product risks, affecting both safety and compliance. Speaking of compliance, there are key standards we need to adhere to, like ISO, FDA, and GMP. For example, ISO IEC 17025 emphasizes competence and traceability, ensuring that calibration processes are rigorous and consistent. The FDA's 21 CFR Part 820 requires strict calibration control to maintain device accuracy, and the EU GMP Annex 15 highlights the importance of managing the calibration lifecycle to ensure ongoing reliability. Now, what exactly is out of calibration? It's essentially a state where an instrument's calibration status is no longer valid. This can happen for a few reasons. Perhaps we missed the scheduled calibration date, or the calibration results failed, indicating the instrument isn't functioning properly. Uncontrolled environmental conditions, like temperature or humidity, can also impact calibration. And of course, any repairs or adjustments made to the instrument can temporarily put it out of calibration. All of these factors highlight why continuous monitoring and proper calibration management are so critical to maintaining data integrity, regulatory compliance, and ultimately, product quality. Let's take a closer look at some of the key regulatory requirements that guide our calibration practices. First, under ISO 9001 and ISO IEC 17025 standards, having a calibration program with documented procedures is essential. This ensures consistency and transparency in how calibration is performed. Traceability to national or international standards is also critical, as it guarantees our measurements are accurate and comparable across different laboratories and regions. Additionally, we must have clear procedures for handling equipment that is found to be out of calibration, or OOC. Properly managing these situations helps maintain the integrity of our testing and calibration processes. Moving on to GMP and FDA requirements, a systematic calibration plan is a must. This means scheduling and documenting calibration activities proactively, rather than reactively. When equipment is found to be OOC, conducting a root cause analysis becomes vital. Understanding why the equipment went out of calibration helps prevent future issues. And of course, all corrective actions and preventive measures must be documented thoroughly in CAPA, or Corrective and Preventive Action records. Overall, these regulatory requirements emphasize the importance of a robust, well-documented calibration system that ensures accuracy, compliance, and ultimately, the reliability of our testing results. They tie directly into our broader goal of maintaining quality and trust in everything we do. Let's take a closer look at the key elements involved in out-of-calibration, or OOC, classification. First, identifying the equipment is crucial, knowing exactly what tools and instruments need to be calibrated. Next, calibration frequency should be determined based on risk. Higher risk equipment may require more frequent checks to ensure accuracy. Assigning responsibility is also essential. Someone should be clearly accountable for performing and documenting calibration activities. Keeping thorough calibration records and maintaining traceability are vital for audit purposes and continuous improvement. Lastly, handling OOC events promptly and effectively helps to prevent quality issues or regulatory noncompliance. All of these elements work together to ensure our calibration program is robust, reliable, and aligned with overall quality objectives. Now, let's talk about OOC detection, or out-of-calibration detection. One of the first steps is to review calibration certificates regularly, making sure everything is up to date and valid. We also keep an eye on trending control charts, which help us spot any deviations early on. Automated systems can send alerts if something seems off, so staying attentive to these notifications is crucial. Additionally, operator checks and pre-use checks serve as a frontline defense. These simple steps can catch issues before they become bigger problems. Moving on to what triggers OOC, or causes calibration to go out of control. Missing a scheduled calibration is a common culprit, so adherence to the schedule is vital. Instrument damage or misuse, like rough handling or abuse, can also lead to calibration issues. Environmental factors, such as temperature or humidity shifts, can cause drift, affecting accuracy. Extended periods of downtime might lead to calibration drift if not managed properly. And finally, performing software updates without proper verification can inadvertently introduce errors. Understanding these triggers helps us maintain the integrity and reliability of our instruments, which aligns with our overall goal of ensuring quality and accuracy in our processes. Now, when we talk about scientific or technical investigation, one of the key steps is root cause analysis, or RCA. Essentially, this means we dig deep to find out what really caused the issue. We start by evaluating calibration results and comparing them against the specifications to see if everything is within the right tolerances. Next, we check environmental and handling conditions because factors like temperature, humidity, or even how the equipment was handled can influence the results. It's also important to review the usage history. Understanding how and when the equipment has been used can reveal patterns or potential stress points. And finally, we verify the reference standards we're using to make sure they're accurate and reliable. To assist with this process, we have several tools at our disposal. The fishbone diagram, also known as the Ishikawa diagram, helps us visually map out all possible causes. The 5 whys technique encourages us to keep asking, why, until we reach the root of the problem. And fault tree analysis allows us to systematically break down complex issues into simpler, more manageable parts. Connecting all of this, the goal is to thoroughly investigate the problem, identify the root cause, and prevent recurrence. These methods and tools are essential for a rigorous, scientific approach to troubleshooting and continuous improvement. Let's now look at the key aspects of risk assessment. First, we need to ask, what measurements were done with the OOC instrument? Understanding this helps us determine how the instrument's performance could impact our product quality or data integrity. Next, we should consider the potential impact. Does this measurement issue threaten the quality of our product or the reliability of our data? If so, we need to decide whether a retest or recalibration is necessary to ensure accuracy. To guide our actions, we use a risk decision matrix. If the impact is high, the appropriate response is to stop using the instrument and notify all relevant stakeholders immediately. For medium impact, a thorough review of the data and trend analysis is essential to understand the scope of the issue. And if the impact is low, we should monitor the situation closely and plan for recalibration soon to prevent future issues. This approach ensures we address potential risks proactively and maintain the integrity of our processes throughout the quality management system. When we identify out-of-control conditions, the first step is to immediately quarantine the instrument to prevent any further use. It's crucial to stop using the instrument for any critical tasks until we understand what's happening. We also need to notify all affected departments so everyone is aware and can respond appropriately. Next, we evaluate the data generated since the last valid calibration to determine if there's been any impact or if further investigation is needed. Based on what we find, we implement corrective and preventive actions, or CAPA, to address the root cause and prevent recurrence. Some common corrective actions include updating the calibration frequency to ensure more regular checks, retraining users to follow proper procedures, or improving storage conditions to maintain instrument integrity. These steps are vital to maintaining data integrity and ensuring our processes remain reliable and compliant. Connecting this to the overall theme, it's about taking swift and effective actions to control issues and continuously improve our quality management system. Let's talk about documentation and reporting, which are absolutely essential in maintaining a robust quality system. First, there are key records we need to keep track of, such as calibration certificates. These prove that our equipment is properly calibrated and functioning correctly. Then, we have the out-of-calibration report form, which documents instances when equipment isn't within specified limits. Investigation and root cause analysis logs are also critical. They help us track issues and understand what went wrong. Impact analysis shows us the potential effects of problems, and corrective and preventive action files, or CAPA files, are where we document the steps taken to fix issues and prevent recurrence. Now, it's important to remember that regulatory bodies place a strong emphasis on thorough documentation. They want us to record everything, justify our decisions with clear reasoning, and maintain traceability throughout our processes. This way, we can demonstrate compliance and accountability at every step. Overall, good documentation isn't just about record keeping. It's about creating a transparent trail that supports continuous improvement and regulatory confidence. For further support, please don't hesitate to contact us. We're here to help you with any questions or additional information you might need. Remember, you're not alone in this process, and we're committed to guiding you every step of the way. Thank you so much for your time and attention today. We truly appreciate your engagement and look forward to supporting you in your journey.